after a thriller of a Pocono race last week in the Krispy Kreme National Series, which saw a 4-car battle for the win, and Chris got his first win on the season finally, and is the new regular season point leader. Here tonight, the Cup Series is off and the lights are on the Krispy Kreme National Series stars for the final standalone event on the season. And oh yeah, it's with 2 races to go until the regular season finale. It is the Skyline Chili 300 at Kentucky Speedway. Hello everyone, it is Nathan Stapleton here, aka Menace Race 97, and welcome to Kentucky Raceway in Sparta, Kentucky. And this one is going to be a fun one with 2 races to go in the regular season. Of course, next week will be the regular season finale, the same weekend that we have the Cup Series chase opener. But tonight the stars are on these, or the lights are on these stars, and it's going to be a fun one. Multi-groove action, a pit stop on lap 30, and I think some of the drivers that we have seen up front all season long will be up towards the front once again. We got one of the 12 chase drivers in the JBL Cup Series up here in the booth here tonight, and we got Stuart Grant up here, and thanks for joining us, and welcome to Kentucky.
Very glad to be here. Hey, this is a racetrack that's not on the JBL Cup Series schedule, so we'll see what happens in this one. And of course, it's a really important race for so many drivers. Every race is, you got to make every post a winner from here on out to make the chase. You got a bunch of drivers that that are probably going to lock their way in tonight, but the battle for the last maybe 3 to 4 spots, and then certainly the wild card as well, as you add another 2, so about 5 spots, that the next 2 races is going to be really important for these guys to show out where you can. And we've got a guy that's close on the cut line at the moment in Willie Nares. He's on the pole. He's only 7 points ahead coming into this race, but he does have 2 wins, which is a nice little added benefit for him. But Alexander Rowe is out on tiebreaker at the moment of the wild card, and he starts on the outside of the front row. So it's a very, very important race here tonight, and I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, it's going to be a very fun night with this racetrack, and it's going to be a very important night for the chase battle. And like you mentioned, the top 5, top 6 could all point their way in, and don't have to worry about next week with that regard. But Nick Lopez, Aaron Abel, William Zalposa, and then Wayne Dwyer, they are all having the final 4 spots. And then we haven't even gone to the wildcard scenario, because Ramirez, he could point his way in, or he could bump his way out. Duncan Wood, he could get in. Stout, he could get in, and Alexander Rowe could get in. But right now, like I said, Stout has the tiebreaker, because Stout has 1 more top 5 than Alexander Rowe. So for these drivers, especially around the qualifying, at a track that I don't think I've ever really gone to here in the National Series, and really ever on the channel. We've done it a few times, but it's been a long time. What do these drivers need to do here on a flat, bumpy Kentucky?
Well, based on what we've seen in the last 2 weeks, you firstly need to survive the first couple of turns in the first lap, because there've been a few accidents and a bit of chaos going on early in the race. So firstly, you got to make your way. Make sure you avoid that chaos. It certainly helps to start up at the front of the field, but it's not a given, obviously, that you'll avoid all that kind of stuff. But once you get through the first laps or so, because that's where a lot of it's going to get quite hectic. I think we'll see the strongest cars come to the front, and you got to have a good long run car probably in this race, and also you got to nail it. I keep harping on about nailing pit stops and having the right strategies. Will we see an undercut? Will we see an overcut? How much will the tires fade away as the run goes along? I feel like you need a good car, and I think we'll see how easy it is. We'll see how easy or difficult it is to pass, because that's one of the big unknowns for me at the moment. As someone that hasn't really seen Kentucky in action particularly often, so we'll see how these guys go about making their way forward. It's going to be an interesting race.
It definitely will be, and it's going to be a race where you need to watch out for pit road entry. That can be a little bit of a trouble spot, and you gotta have a long car. We got a similar tire to Atlanta. Not quite as bad, but it's still going to be 2 seconds off at the end of the one. And speaking of Atlanta, Travis made the INI for Atlanta, and he made a INI for Kentucky. So we'll see how that plays out. But like I said, Jericho is in on points already, and he is the regular season point leader only by 3 points over Local Williams. And Felicity Mendoza is in third, minus 15 on the regular season title, but plus 66. Caleb Bowles plus 53. Avery Alvarez plus 45. And Ben Watson plus 40. They are all going to be in if they are more than 40 points above the cutoff line, and really plus 38 because of the couple of bonus points. So most likely they will be good as long as they finish well here tonight. Nick Lopez only plus 26 of our World America winner. And Abel plus 14. Trying to make the chase in both Cup and National. And the minimum is Al Poster only plus 7. And Juan Duane plus 4. Kind of like Chris Jericho has been the shining star from Joker's Racing here this season. Duncan Ward, 4 points out, has a wild card number 1. And he could make it in either way. Angel Gutierrez has been fairly consistent during the summer, but is only 13 points out. And then Jordan Stout and Alexander will tie, minus 15. Stout has that tiebreaker for the wild card. Juan Garcia, minus 21. He still has a shot, and he's been getting better. Along with this driver, Eric Marco, still steadier tonight. He could easily win and make it a 4-way battle for the wild card scenario. Bradley minus 31, Chris Mullins minus 31, Benjamin Amari Jr. minus 41, and then Carson Miller minus 44. Will Bill Crown Jr. a what could have been season 4? That 17 means he's at speed, but he's not had the luck on his side. He's minus 51. Same can be said for Burnett minus 55, Philip Torres minus 59, Eli Bright minus 60, and then the Daytona winner of Anthony Hernandez minus 75 out. He's probably not even going to be in the wildcard fight, unfortunately, here this season. William Ayers is on the pole, and alongside is Alexander Rowe, Eric Marco, and Anthony Hernandez in row number 2. Row number 3 is Benjamin Amari Jr. and Charlie Davenport, Eli Bright and Roberto Crown Jr. in row 4. And then rounding out the top 10, it will be Jordan Stout and Felicity Mendoza. And it's going to be a wild night here at Kentucky, and we've not really been here too many times, but I think it's going to be a fun one for sure. And it is it's the 2 races to go until the regular season finale next week. And Stuart, who do you think will win underneath the lights of Kentucky Speedway?
Might go for a bit of a bold pick. I know he starts third, but he has found a lot of form, Eric Monaco, and hasn't gone to victory lane yet. He wants to be in the chase, and he's if he gets a win tonight, puts him in that wild card race. And without knowing how this track really plays out, I think he's got a decent shot at it. So I'll take the 97. It's a bit of a bolder pick than I normally would go with, but we'll see how he goes.
Not a bad pick though. He's been one of the fastest drivers during the summer here in the National Series, and we'll see what he can do. William Ayers with his second pole on the season, trying to get his 3rd win here tonight. William Ayers and Alexander Rowe will lead us to the green for the final standalone event on the season, with 2 races to go in the regular season, and it is the Skyline Chili 300 at Kentucky Speedway. We are Green Flag Racing at Kentucky. Oh boy, Marco trying to get to the inside, not quite. And how about this? We finally made it through lap 1 this time. 3rd week was the charm. And Milton Ayers is going to be lap number 1. Here comes the 482 of Benjamin Amari Jr. And we're going to see this here tonight. It's more multi-groove somewhat in 1 and 2 than it is in 3 and 4. And that could be very sketchy as the 4 wide in the middle of the field.
Oh, look out. This could get pretty nasty back here. Burnett's in the middle there in the 43, along with the 26 of Chris Martins. And luckily, they get through it. Right in the middle of that, on the outside, is Caleb Rose. That's not a position he wants to be in. In that 38, of course, he's 53 points to the good, but he doesn't want to be getting involved in an incident and losing a heap of points. Watson also back down there. Tell you what, they were double file through the first couple of turns, nice and clean. And as soon as they got to turn 3, everybody started fanning out. But top maybe down to about 9th of just about single file, maybe slightly double filed out because Cherico's on the move here in the 8th. Of course, our last winner in the series and the championship leader. And I've been banging his drum a little bit at times throughout the season, but he's doing a nice job. And here's his teammate, Eli Bright. Hey, Eli's had a lot of success in JBL Cup, and I don't actually personally know who actually ended up making the chase, but he has gotten a win over there, and that's pretty close there with Monaco. But he's starting to find his footing as well.
Absolutely. Of course, Eli Bright, he won 3 poles in a row to end the regular season for the JBL Cup Series, so he's finding speed late in the season. But unfortunately, it is late in the season for him to try and find that speed. Mark goes up to the 3rd spot, and very important right here. The number 31 of Alexander Rowe needs a good one to try and edge out Jordan Stout for the regular for wildcard number 2. And speaking of the regular season title, look at this. Logan Williams right in front of Chris Jericho in the number 8, but Jericho gonna make the one to the inside, and definitely seeing a lot of passing than we normally expect to at Kentucky, and it's kind of what I was expecting. It's not going to be impossible to make passes, but you got to have a good call for it. Well, back to the inside, maybe for Monaco, but Monaco gets a good one in 1 and 2.
Look at Amadi here trying to get around Logan Williams here, the 44. Williams did a good job. He started from 13th and worked his way forward. Jericho started from 19th. He's already made up 12 positions in 6 laps. Less than 6 laps, and he's trying to get to the inside. He's going to probably get past Amadi right here, and looks like he'll get that one done nicely there. So he's now up to 6th after starting 19th, and all he needs is a good points finish, of course, to lock himself in. Or good result here. Well, he doesn't even really need a good result. He just needs others to finish poorly. But wants to finish, as a regular season champion. Mendoza also 30 points, trying to work her way up there. There is Monaco, my man. My pick for this one. He's up to 2nd in the 97, and hey, he's found a lot of form as the year's gone on as well. So he's doing a very nice job, and Logan Williams is going to make it 2 of the Alpha Prime cars inside the top 3.
And we are definitely seeing a lot of drives that we've seen all year long, one up front, right? The top 3, top 4, top 5, and same can be said of the 29 of Mendoza, and especially the 98 of Angel Gutierrez late in the regular season, making some noise. Here comes Duncan Wood, making some moves. And same with Ben Watson, wanting to want to go see it. A lot of drives that we've seen this year, one up towards the top 15 are. And we saw it right there. Jordan Stout dropped that and lost 3 or 4 spots in 3 and 4, and that's the unique thing. He can run the 2nd lane well, but he can't really run the 3rd lane out of the groove for Jordan Stout. And Stout is in contention for that wildcard spot, but his rival of Alexander Rowe is running in the 3rd spot, so that's not really that good for him. And Rowe is going to take that 3rd spot away, as Jericho's going to make it 3 wide maybe for the 5th spot. And it's going to be interesting. Will we see comers and goers in this race? Because it's going to be 2 seconds of fall off over a course of 30 laps. So probably see some drivers make the way up the front later on. And well, we got battle for 3rd and a battle for the lead with Monaco.
Yeah, good pass from Monaco down to the inside. He made it look pretty easy in the end. Ayres didn't put up much of a fight, to be completely honest with you. Did a nice job. With Monaco now leading the race, and Williams as well. Closing in, he got around Rowe for 3rd. But this is still for Alexander Rowe. This is a good run. This is a good run for him. Duncan Ward, he's 10th at the moment. Jordan Stout's outside the top 10. He's going to, right now at least, probably move into the wildcard positions as it currently runs. Of course, there's still 40 laps to go, so a lot can happen in this one. But speaking of Duncan, here he is on the move in the number 5, and he's another one that you can probably expect to run up in front. Oh, that's really tight. That's really, really close. Almost 4 wide. Garcia forcing his way through on the inside. Luckily, no contact there, no collision. Everybody keeps it going. But that could have been nasty there. But Duncan Ward's another one that you could very easily see winning this race in the 5. Running inside the 9th position and working his way through slowly but surely.
And I think he might have a long one called. We're not even halfway through the fuel one. We're only at lap 12 of 30-ish for the fuel one, so definitely has some time. And Yeah, that's the good thing about Kentucky. It is one of the more wild. It is one of the widest wild laps we go to. So they can go full wide relatively easily, but that was a little bit close a couple of laps ago, and these guys are not being nice to each other. Like I said, we had a crash on lap 1, turn 2 at Nashville, and then lap 1, turn 1 at Pocono. We've made it clean and green so far, but I'm probably going to staple jinx it because I just said that. But some good racing all over the place, as here comes Logan Williams side by side for the second place spot now. And this could be a race that Logan Williams could win. He's not really had race winning speed in a while, but this could be a night where he might have that, as he's up to the second place spot.
Yeah, and I think when you look at these Alpha Prime cars, without knowing too much about Colleague, the 97, for example, these I certainly know for a fact that these Alpha Prime cars are set up quite well for the long run. They're set up well for managing tyre wear. So that's going to come into play later on in the run. Colleague, I'm not quite sure if they're going to be as capable of being as strong as the run goes along with that tyre wear. As now Williams closing in here, he could probably not going to be close enough into turn 3, but maybe next time around he can have a look if he really wants for the lead. And he wants to win that regular season title, and of course he gets more points for another win, bonus points at the start of the chase, and he's in a very good position, of course, to win this championship in the Krispy Kreme National Series. But Jericho also inside the top 5 as well, and Mendoza not too far behind either. So top 3 in the championship, all right amongst it, and quite a few chase drivers up here as well.
Absolutely, and as things stand, I believe it would be Chilcom and Williams tied in the regular season championship, and that is very important because the winner of that will get 15 bonus points, second gets 10, third gets 8, and then so forth, down to 1 point for 10th points. So that could be very important. And of course, Logan Williams, he's trying to get revenge from what happened in last week in the JBL Cup Series. He won the race, but didn't win the regular season title. So he wants to get at least a regular season title here in the Krispy Kreme National Series, and he might be in position, but they are tied. I was trying to take a look on William Minutes, and it looks like now that these ties have fallen off a little bit, it's getting a little bit harder to make a pass, but we still have the top 8 all within the train, and really any of these drivers can win this race. Monaco winning a lane higher, Williams winning a lane lower, and this is the fun thing about Kentucky, and you gotta see what ends up happening. Watson inside the top 10 now, and then number 48, Angel Gutierrez, and how about Matthew Burnett in the number 43? He doesn't really have a good chance at the chase in this one because of having like 4 engines coming up in smoke, but he's having a solid one, and just a lot of drivers that we've seen you having a good one. But Jordan Stout, the Darlington winner, not having that great of one compared to some of the other drivers, especially with Alex in the world running inside the top 5. He's running in 15th, but we still have that pit stop in about 10 laps time, and this is a tricky pit road, so gotta be careful for that. But lap 20 now, as Alex trying to go back for 3rd.
Yeah, he's trying to make that move stick on Ayres. He's been pushing and pushing for a while there. Look at Jericho. He got a good run through turn 2 there. He's going to get run on the back of the 31. Can he push the 31 past the 45 into turn 3? Not quite. They're going to be side by side. But Ayres well out of the groove. There's no grip up there, and that's what this early run has shown. And Ayres are going to drop 2 places as a result. But still a good run for the 45. He's on that cut line. He really needs just a solid result rather than anything else. And of course, he's got those 2 wins as we mentioned before. But you look at, this Mendoza goes to the inside. Duncan Ward going to try and maybe thread the needle through the middle. He's not going to be close enough to get to Mendoza. But he may still have a look at the 29, and here goes Williams diving down to the inside here for the lead. He's been closing, and finally he makes the move, and he's going to make it stick here into turn 3. Monaco's going to try and fight it back on the outside, though. Can't quite do it, and Logan Williams is going to take the lead, although Monaco with a crisscross down to the inside.
Apparently Monaco has a good enough call for the outside lane in 3 and 4. A little bit of a crossover. Logan Williams running the high side. That's been better in 3 and 1 and 2, and we might see a crisscross once again. And this is something that I've not seen before, but credit to Travis. He did a good job. 3 and 4 is a little bit odd, but especially 1 and 2, you can run almost anywhere inside of the groove. Monaco can hang on to the race lead for now, and here comes Roll with a good one down the front stretch. And he's going to try and take second away, and this is going to be very crucial once we get to pit stops, who will be the race leader and who can take advantage of it. But Logan Williams with a good one off of turn number 2. Going to try and maintain the second place spot. It looks like that's going to be the case. And he's going to block that number 31. So, and, well, don't look now, but here comes Duncan Wood in the number 5 up to the 7th place spot.
Yeah, top 7, all under a blanket at the moment. But tell you what, Monaco, it was so impressive what he's able to do because we haven't really been able to see. I mean, you look at Ayres, for example, and Ayres is going wide again. The 45, you know, when he got past, he was well up out of the groove. He lost 2 spots and, you know, maybe not as quick as the guys in front. But Monaco was able to, you know, crisscross back underneath the 44 immediately. And, you know, even though Logan Williams did lead a lap, you know, he basically... Well, he lost the lead, almost lost second there to Rowe, but 44, I feel like, has got a, you know, as this, again, later on as the run, he's got a little bit more speed. Can he find a way around the 97, heading into this first round of pit stops? So you want to have a clean pit road as well. That's really, really important. You don't want other cars, you know, coming in and out and affecting your run through pit roads. That's another thing you've got to keep in mind.
And first you gotta get onto pit road cleanly, because this is a tricky pit road to get onto. They can sometimes overshoot the exit, or the exit them for an onto pit road, and that will have these drivers get a penalty for, I believe, a unsafe pit road entry. So you gotta be very mindful for that. Williams has a strong car for this race win. I think really the top 4, once again, kind of like Pocono, the top 4 right now all have a good shot at the race win. And honestly, it's 2 of the same. Wall was in the mix at Pocono, and same with Chris Jericho, so it's going to be interesting what ends up happening. I'm going to quickly see if anyone is doing the undercut. It looks like that is not the case. Caleb Rose is still deep in the field in the number 38 machine in the 22nd position. So not the greatest ones for him, but he doesn't really need it. Good one from Charlie Davenport, top 20. I know that's not spectacular, but he's had a struggling season. Avery Alford running in the 17th position. And we'll see what ends up happening. No one lets be pitting this time by. And we gotta see who ends up doing the undercut and the overcut, because that's another piece of unknown that we do not know here at Kentucky here tonight.
And I would much rather, and I've always said this, I'd much rather do the undercut when you got a track that has so much tyre wear. You get 1 lap of fresh tyres makes a big difference. So I'd much rather do the undercut here. I know that there's a chance that there's a yellow. That's the risk, especially with the way you describe pit road. That's a very big risk to come down early, but I'd take the risk, you know. I mean, especially if you're back here like Lopez and Rose, who are, you know, outside the top 20 at the moment. They would, you know, I would take the punt. You might as well, as Jericho trying to get to the 3rd position in this number 8. He's done a very good job in this race, but it is getting a bit harder to pass. And here we go. Looks like we're going to have first round of pit stops. 97 looks like he's going to come down here, or let's see. Yes, he is.
Oh, and Jericho.
Oh, Jericho. Oh, that's a penalty.
And that's why, man, it's a hard pit road to get into, and it looked like he wasn't going to pit. And it might have been the case where the crew chief was like, oh, pit, and it was too little too late. So, tough play for Jericho, and that's going to hurt him for the race. He was top 5, and that might hurt him in the regular season title.
Yeah, it probably will, but as you can see now, 44 coming down, Williams, Rowe. You expect everyone else to come down this time. And
Angel
there goes Garcia.
Just spun out one Garcia, but he's on the apron, so he should be good. Don't know if he'll get a penalty for that or not.
Oh, no, that was a yellow.
Oh, we're not good. I think that did bring out a yellow, actually.
Yeah, I think it did. I think the pit road lights were on. I think that's created a yellow.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's very bad news for the 97, the 5, and these guys that came down a lap earlier. It's not going to do them well good. Hey, the guys that stayed out, they may benefit from this. We'll see what happens. But 43, Matthew Burnett was the race leader. So we'll see here as to what happens in terms of who ends up where, because now the field's going to be all jumbled up.
Oh boy. Well, I don't know how that was a caution because they're on the apron, but here we are, and the top two, and top three, top four, top five. Actually, it was like the top seven have not gone down pit road yet, and honestly, that might be the best case scenario for Jericho, because depending on if he's a lap down or not, he might be able to have a restart and make up some of the ground. And it looks like the top seven that did not pit are going to go down this time by. And I do think it's going to be Logan Williams as the race leader. Possibly.
I think it's going to be these guys that pitted there. I think everyone's going to be a lap down here. I reckon they're all at the end of
Oh,
the
yeah.
tail end of the lead lap at the moment. So this is big now. These guys on pit road.
Boy.
Abel, 43 of Burnett. Abel's probably the big one because he's 8th in points coming into this. A lot of the other guys that are on pit road are not really in contention here for the chase. But the 39 could be the big beneficiary from this because he's right in contention.
Yeah, I think why on that, I think everyone is on the tail end. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens without the caution, even though I think we just see it. But we're going to sort everything out and get back with a restart here in the Skyline Chili at Kentucky. Well, here's the cause for the caution, and this is honestly one of the stupidest things I've seen. Not this. Angel Gutierrez and Juan Garcia tried going down for the same piece of space on the apron, and the reason for the yellow is not for Juan Garcia spinning on the apron, as oh my goodness, 26, is for Juan Garcia driving in the grass. I guess Kentucky does not want the grass to get ripped apart. I don't know, but very odd scenario there for the caution. I've never seen that before, and I guess I just wanted to make my life hard on myself, leaving around 29 colors. And it's going to be interesting on what ends up happening with everyone a lap down. That's going to help Chris Jericho, who messed up pit road entry for himself. And that's really going to help the drivers that stayed out of unable Matthew Burnett and others. The top seven all stayed out and then pitted. So we got to wait and see of what Monaco, Logan Williams, and others can do. Here with a 14-lap shootout to the end. Let's go ahead and see what will happen on this restart here at Kentucky Speedway. Well, welcome back to Kentucky Speedway after a interesting caution. Juan Garcia got spun on the apron on the entry of pit road, and somehow the officials thought that was worthy of a caution, even though that happened on the apron. So we have waved everybody around. It will be 14 laps to go, and the top 7 are the cars that benefited from that caution, with Aaron Abel, the big time winner, Matthew Burnett, Ryan Kendall, Robo Crown Jr., Bruno Diacmo, Kyle Craven, and the 92 of Howie Anderson Jr. And then 84 back is the draws that all got waved around of the 44, 97, 31, and so on. Chris Jericho, who got a pit road penalty, that was a blessing in disguise. He's back on the lead lap, but he is starting in 36th position. So 14 laps to go. If this is anything like the start, then we could see some craziness. But can Aaron Abel and all these guys hang on to some fast draws behind Williams, Malcolm, and Rowe? Let's find out back going with 14 laps to go in the Skyline Chili. Three as they are failing out all over the place, just inside the top 5.
Because I tell you what, Monaco went straight down to the bottom in the 97. I don't know. I don't think he'll get in trouble for it, but he was on it like straight away. And obviously, there's quite a lot of cars here that weren't up front that benefited from it. So, well, all the top 7 really benefited from it. They weren't really up in contention, to be honest, except for the 43, the 39. They were right amongst it. And you know, can these guys, Mendoza here in the 29, trying to work her way forward? Monaco, Duncan Ward, Rowe. I mean, these guys, how far up can they move their way in this race? Because It's going to be big, particularly for these guys at chase contention. They're almost 4 wide again. Gutierrez backs out of it on the bottom in the 98. But Aaron Abel, this is a great opportunity for Aaron Abel that's presented to him. He's in the lead of this race, and he's 8th in points coming into it. And this would be a big result if he can get up tonight.
Absolutely, and for Abel, he's been close to getting a win this season, and the thing that is working out for him is that the top 7 that benefited from that caution.
Oh, look out.
Oh my goodness, Duncan Wood is flying. They are still on fairly similar tires, so it's not like they're off tire strategy and tire pace, but they're just maybe some of the slower cars, and this is absolutely a hornet's nest throughout the field. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. There's a lot going on back in here. Rose trying to work his way forward, and the point situation is now completely a mess as a result of all this. So I'm not even going to try and do the maths in my head. But look out for Duncan Ward in this 5. I mean, he is on it. Like, he is on it now. He's 11th in points. He wants to point his way in. He's looking for his 2nd win of the season, and he is making the most of this restart. He's already up to 4th and closing in here on Roberto Crown. But he's only got 10 laps to go in the 5. Can he get to Abel and Burnett in front? We shall see as Monaco beats. Monaco. I don't think he's going to go to victory lane tonight, but he's done a very nice job. But this would hurt if he can't go to victory lane tonight.
This one would definitely hurt for the 97 of Air Monaco, but I guess the bright side is that he is only 28 points out, and he is ahead of Angel Gutierrez. He's ahead of Jordan Stout. He's ahead of Alexander Moe. He's ahead of Juan Garcia. So he's ahead of everyone that he's battling to make it maybe into the chase on points besides Duncan Wood. But regardless of what happens, Duncan Wood will probably bump out Dwani, and Dwani will get bumped out, and most likely Duncan Wood will be in on points. So that's going to be very interesting. It's still going to be a great night for Monaco, and he could still have a shot at Indy to make the chase somehow after a slow start, but a wicked fast regular season into it. 8 laps to go. Abel, Burnett, and Crown Jr. the top 3, and you know, it's funny how I said that Crown Jr.'s not had luck this season. They've had a lot of speed, but not a lot of luck. Well, how about this? Some good luck finally, and might be able to steal this one. Top 3 under a blanket, but they got quite possibly the fastest car on the racetrack, and Duncan Wood right behind him.
Yeah, but Aaron Abel's in the best position here because he could dictate where he wants to go, which lines he wants to control. As Crown now to the inside in the 7. This would be a great moment for Roberto if they could get to victory lane in this race and make the most of some luck that went their way for once in this series. But they're up to 2nd now. But look out, because here comes Duncan. He's going to get to 3rd and look to the inside in the 7. This car is the quick one at the moment, and he's got 6 to go, so he does have enough time to get past both Crown and Aaron Abel, and here he goes to 2nd.
Gonna try and do a slide job, but Crown's gonna whip the outside lane in turn 2, and and the lights just turn on. I forgot to mention this was a day to night race, so it's gone dark and dark, and I think that might be part of it. The 5 is flying as the night is getting closer and closer up to the 2nd place spot. And the thing is, it's not just because of the restart. That 5 with Duncan was really, really fast before that caution came out, so he has had speed all night long, and he might be able to get there on the 8 on Abel. Side by side for the 4th place spot. Monaco's trying. He still has 4.5 laps to go, but I don't think he has a faster car than Duncan Wood.
Yeah, Abel Abel's not quite getting the run that he would have hoped there through turns 3 and 4. Duncan's got a little bit more speed, but of course Abel's got the track position at the moment. He's got clean air, and that's a big thing in this race now with 4 to go, because he can just dictate where he wants to go. Although Duncan's got a very quick car through the corners. This is the thing about Duncan as well. You know, he restarted behind Monaco. He restarted behind Williams and these guys that came down and got a bit unlucky with the yellow. So he's been the quickest car when it's mattered here in this last run. But Abel's got the track position as we come to 3 to go.
Abel has the track position, but Duncan has the fastest car. And, you know, shout out to Alpha Prime, they did have airs up front, but not anymore. And well, I go to the bat a little bit, and side by side here we go. Duncan Wood trying to get that inside, but able with a decent one-off turn two. He's gonna keep it, and Wood gets tight. Wood gets tight, and now here comes the boat pound Jr. as oh no, the good pit actually.
Oh my goodness, what?
The drivers that stay out an extra lap, they're gonna pit, and they are working on pit road entry.
There's a spin on pit road, I think.
Yep, and they're gonna stay green. And that's everyone that stay out an extra lap. They must not put enough fuel in or something. I don't know. Oh my goodness.
I don't know how you can make that mistake.
Well, it's gonna come down to Duncan Wood and Eric Monaco. I don't think Monaco's gonna be able to get the race win. And looks like everyone else is staying out. So the 7 cars that stay out an extra lap didn't put enough fuel in the penalty. The penalty 1 to go. And it's gonna be a also close second for Eric Monaco, and the number 97 gonna be almost max points day. And he's still gonna have a shot, I think, at making the chase based off of points. He's gonna try and send it to 3 and 4, but it's not gonna be enough for the second time on the season. Duncan Wood will win in the Krispy Kreme National Series, and he will win a chaotic Skyline Chili 300.
Well, how about that for Duncan Ward? The field got dunked on tonight, and that's a very good win for the 5 team. Hey, that car was very, very quick, and he made the most of that restart. He got around, the 97, he got around the 44 of these guys, and I don't know what happened with Aaron Abel and company. I don't know how you can make that mistake where you put in not enough fuel, especially when the whole field is basically a lap down. You might as well put as much fuel as you can in, but whatever. That's going to cost Abel quite a bit because he's going to drop a lot of ground as a result. He's going to lose a lot of ground to the guys. Yeah, I mean, you see that there. He's 31st. Everyone around him's going to finish ahead of him, so he's in a bit of strife now after looking like he might have been able to win the race. So how about that? Also, I just saw Caleb Rose finish 4th after all that in the 38.
What?
So fair effort to him as well. Yeah. How did that happen?
But where did he come from? Jordan Stout got 5th out in the way. What on earth?
I don't know where he came from in the 38. He was outside the top 20. It's that's a very nice result for 38. That's going to lock a few of these guys in, obviously. So,
oh yeah.
Williams will take the points lead. There's no doubt about that. Given Jericho did alright. He ended up 17th after losing all that ground because of the penalty, a self-inflicted penalty. It should be acknowledged, but he's going to drop probably behind Mendoza as well. So very interesting race, and that pit strategy at the end is going to cost the 39. I think here because he doesn't have a win to fall back on either, so he might be outside the top 10 entirely.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, if that answers anyone's questions of if we can pass you at Kentucky, look at Chris Jericho. 36 on the restart, and 14 laps he went up to 17th. So, very fast car all night, and he was able to work his way up to the top half of the field. And this is a very interesting race. It was multi-groove racing, and definitely saw a lot more passing than what I thought. But what a race here for the Krispy Kreme National Series for the final standalone event on the scene. The rest of the races will be alongside the Cup drivers on the same weekend that they race. But what a wild one. Duncan Wood gets the win, Monaco in second barely. That's going to be very interesting because he finished basically he finished above everyone that he needed to besides Duncan Wood, but Duncan's going to get in on points leaving tonight. So Monaco could have a shot next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Oklahoma is going to take the regular season title bet. Rose is, I don't know where he came from, like you said, but he's going to be in. He's going to get locked in. That's the big one for Jordan Stout and the number 11. I don't know where he came from, but all of a sudden, it's going to be Stout and Rowe going to have the 2 wildcard spots. And the way that things are, and with Carson Miller not having that great overnight, it might just be those 2 in the wildcard scenario unless someone else wins. Watson in 6th out of nowhere, he should be good. Mendoza in 7th should be good. 8th Ralph in 8th should be good. Wani, that's going to be interesting for the points, because Wani, I don't know where he came from, but he got 10th in a row, and a 9th in a row in the 10th spot. One caution, and everyone finished here in this one. And the interesting thing is that 6 out of the 7 that stayed out didn't put enough fuel in, but Howard Anderson Jr. didn't have to pit, so don't know what that's all about, but what a wild one. And we still got one race to go next week at Indianapolis for the regular season finale. And how do you think that's going to go for the Krispy Kreme National Series drivers?
Oh, who knows? I mean, to be honest, well, I mean, you had a lot of the strong cars up there. I think Monaco, even though he'll be outside the top 10 in points. We could classify him as a strong car. Stout did a good job in the 11 as well. He's a teammate, but he was inside the top 15 all night. So and he did a good job at the end. Durrani will be jumped by Duncan Ward, but he'll jump Aaron Abel. I think Nick Lopez also didn't have a great night in the 00. Neither did Gutierrez. So I think it's just a case of Abel going out, Ward going in, and Stout and Rowe, as you said, as the 2 wild cards. But if Monaco wins, right, and it depends on how many points he gained, because he probably led the most laps in this race. So let's say 37 points. Alexander Rowe finished 10th, and I don't know how much that's worth off the top of my head. I think it's 27 maybe. So he gains a fair bit of points. So if Monaco wins that race next week, for example, even like a Gutierrez, for example, that really shakes up the wild card, and then, or like an Ayres maybe falls out. There's a lot to play out, is basically what I'm saying. There's a lot that can happen next week, but we're really seeing the cream rise to the top here. When you got guys like Williams and Rose, don't know how Rose finished 4th in that race. That's amazing. Mendoza up there. Jericho had an exceptionally quick car, was unlucky with the penalty. Duncan Ward's a championship contender, even though he was outside the top 10 coming into this race in points. So it's a fascinating final race before the chase next week.
Absolutely, and there's so many different scenarios, and it's kind of like the Cup Series, but I feel like it could be a lot tighter and a lot of different scenarios for this series versus the Cup Series. It's definitely going to be a fun one next week. We got the regular season finale for the Krispy Kreme National Series at Minneapolis Motor Speedway, and then we also have the Chase opener, which includes one of the drivers in the booth for this one. Stuart Wren is one of the 12, so good luck in that one, and it's going to be a fun week next week. We kick off the Chase, and we end the regular season finale in the Krispy Kreme National Series, and who the heck knows what's going to happen next week. Thanks for Stuart for joining me up here tonight. And until next week at the Brickyard for both Cup and National, we will see you guys then in a short week's time. Bye!